Let's learn about the parts of your instrument. We'll start with the mouthpiece. You put this mouthpiece into what is called the receiver. And the receiver is basically this thicker metal that's overlaid onto what is the lead pipe. That's your next part. The lead pipe takes you from the mouthpiece and the receiver all the way to your main tuning slide, okay? So wherever your lead pipe connects to the slide right here, that is always considered your main tuning slide. So if you're adjusting your pitch, you usually will look at this slide first. So it's a little bit different on every horn. You may be looking at my horn and it looks nothing like yours. Just remember how to figure out the main tuning slide is if it's connected to your lead pipe, okay? Now from that point, the tubing goes into the valve cluster, okay? I'm gonna flip my horn around again. And the valve cluster is basically a term that we use to describe where all the valves are centered. Okay, so on my instrument, my thumb valve is hooked up with this valve cap right here. Okay, and then I have my first valve, second valve, third valve. That's pretty standard for all double horns. We have a trigger, first, second, and third valve. If you have a single horn, instead of a trigger, you'll have a thumb ring. Your thumb will go in that location, but there's no valve there. After the valves, you have what is called a pinky ring that's located right here. I also don't have that on my instrument. I have opted to remove it, and I put this handy dandy strap. It's called a klep strap. And instead of the pinky ring, I have this like bolt here soldered to my horn. So imagine the pinky ring. You probably have one, so you don't have to imagine it for your horn, and you're going to put your pinky in that ring. Okay? Then after that, you see you have the bell branch, and then it is called the bell throat right here. And then we end up with the bell of the horn. Okay? So it's important that you understand that people will often refer to their horn as a wide throat or a narrow throat or a wide bell, small bell, large bell, all kinds of descriptions of size when they're referring to their throat and their bell. And so if that has ever come up and you've ever heard somebody talk about that, that's what they're talking about. This area right in here and then the whole bell. And some French horns have detachable bells where right here is a threaded screw and you can put your bell on and screw it off. Okay, and that is pretty handy because then you can change the types of bells that you use. You can actually get different sizes and different materials and interchange them very easily. And then you can also put that kind of horn in a smaller case, and it can be stored in smaller areas and is great for travel, like flying on an airplane, for instance. So all of these things to come, that's kind of a custom option, and it's probably not something that you'll encounter for quite some time, but it is something that you should know about if you ever see it. If you're curious, that's what it is. Okay, so those are the parts of your horn, and next up we're going to learn how to care for them.